To Moldova now, where voters are deciding on who should be their next president. They're also holding a referendum on joining the EU. Moldova borders Ukraine, but it's sandwiched between the two is the breakaway Russian-backed province of Transnistria. Fears are high that Moscow is meddling in the voting process. There are reports of ballots being bought with Russian cash. The vote is being seen as an indication of the former Soviet republic's pro-European intentions, as incumbent president and pro-European politician Maia Sandu seeks a second term in the country of 2.6 million people.
Since Maia Sandu first took office as Moldova's president in 2020, she's been steering her country towards closer integration with the European Union. She's hoping that voters will choose to continue on this path, re-electing her and voting yes in a referendum on joining the EU.
We're not just electing the president. It's important to elect an honest person, a fair person who loves this country. But this Sunday we're making an important decision in the referendum. The fate of our country for many decades to come rests on this decision.
Moldova has a Romanian-speaking majority and a large Russian-speaking minority. In the past, Russia played a significant role in Moldova's domestic affairs and sought to influence elections. And it appears to be doing the same this time. Police accuse the Kremlin of being behind a $15 million scheme to bribe Moldovans to vote against joining the EU and in favour of Russia-friendly candidates. A record 11 candidates are running for president. While Maia Sandu leads opinion polls, her main challenger is dismissed Prosecutor General Alexander Stoyanoglu, backed by pro-Russian opposition parties. If no one wins more than 50% of the vote, the election will go to a runoff on November 3rd.
Earlier, I spoke to journalist Maria Nicolescu in Chișinău. I asked her about the possibility for Moldovan voters to choose a pro-European president and a future in the EU.
Well, the Moldovan population remains quite divided on the question of the European Union. The main stake of this election, of the presidential election, as well as the referendum, is, of course, whether Moldova wants to continue turning westwards, meaning also away from Russia or not. Moldova has been on this path since 2020, and especially since the start of the war in Ukraine. But, of course, to the question whether Moldovans want the EU or not, well, they will have to answer this question themselves today, and we're expecting to have first estimates of results around 10 p.m. Local time tonight. If we also look at the most recent estimates, then there's a good reason to think that at least half Moldovans, if not more, are interested in joining the European Union. When it was announced that negotiations would start with Brussels late last year, this has been celebrated by many people here in Chișinău, and current President Maia Sandu, who has made EU integration the main topic of her mandate and of her re-election campaign, has a strong political support base, especially in the diaspora. Estimates show that Maia Sandu is expected to win around 40% of votes in the presidential race. This is about 4 times more than expectations for socialist candidate Alexander Stoyanoglu, who is expected to arrive second. If the referendum passes, well, this will be an important victory for Maia Sandu, who's relying on this vote to continue negotiations with Brussels, and it would also help dismiss the claims that there's no popular support for the European Union here in Moldova.
Right. Is the reported Russian interference actually influencing voters from those you've been speaking to?
Yes, Russian interference has surely been one of the main challenges during this campaign for the Moldovan government, and authorities have accused Russia repeatedly of waging a hybrid war in the country. Moldovan prosecutors and police have unveiled a large-scale corruption scheme with 15 million euros being channeled to Moldova through Russian banks in order to corrupt voters. 130,000 Moldovans received payments as part of this scheme. And they were asked to spread this information, and they are also being asked to vote no in the referendum and to choose a candidate who is not Maia Sandu. In addition, some regions in Moldova still have very close ties to Russia, both culturally speaking, also on the political level. We have the Gagauzian region, for example, in the south, where many people don't speak Romanian, the official language in Moldova. They exclusively consume Russian media outlets, Russian entertainment. This, coupled with anti-EU propaganda and disinformation, leads to the fact that entire communities see the EU as something very negative, sometimes even scary. But we'll have to see if this will have a significant impact or not on the election.
Right. We await the results. Journalist Maia Sandu in Chisinau. Thank you.